Sound check here. How am I coming? Good. We're gonna get started in a couple minutes. Just want to invite folks to jump into the chats. If you have some questions that you're coming into this presentation with, feel free to go ahead and drop them in there. Maybe make a mention of where you're from. All right. Doing another check. Can everybody hear me okay? Good, good. We're going to get started here in a minute. Another moment for late arrivals, and we're going to jump right in and get into this. Okay, I've got 8:05. Good enough time to get started. So As you can see from the opening slide, hello. Thanks for being a Boilermaker. This is a very exciting time. Thanks for attending. We're going to get the chat. We have the chat going. Feel free to continue to jump in there with questions. We'll answer those as we go, and we'll leave some time, preferably at the end, for some additional question answering. And for information, we typically get this question on webinars. Is it going to be recorded? Yes. And the plan is to share this out on the Early Start website, perhaps as early as tomorrow. There's a few details that have to be ironed out to get that going. So we'll get moving here. So congratulations again on becoming a Boilermaker. We're about 10 days now from your arrival. That's coming up pretty quickly. You'll be coming to campus, getting your Purdue career started, which is fantastic. We plan to cover a few topics today. The goal is going to be to help you transition as smoothly as possible into Purdue. Note, this is primarily intended to be a presentation for on-campus participants. If there's any of you who's made it in that are online only, you're welcome. You can listen in. There'll be some information that's pertinent for your fall move-in. And then after the slideshow, just want to note you should have your peer mentor on hand to have a Zoom link with you. If you have checked your email the last couple of days, you should be getting emails and communications from your peer mentor with a Zoom link to attend a meeting after this meeting for those of you students that will be on campus. Moving on. So I'm someone, many of you will probably share this trait, who likes to know what's coming. So we're going to set the stage here. As you can see, the GPA in summers are pretty good as you compare it to fall and spring. And I will tell you, this is not because classes are easier. These are the same classes you can take during the fall and spring, except for compressed and quicker. But the feedback that I've gotten from previous participants is it's about the pace of the courses. You're going to have about 3 to 5 classes per day, repeating that schedule almost a daily basis. So you're going to get in a routine pretty quickly. It's kind of hard to forget there's an assignment due when it's due tomorrow after being assigned today, or a test material that happens on Friday that you're studying, starting for 2 days from now. So it's easy to succeed so long as you're coming to campus with the right mindset, ready to get going and get working. We're also going to talk about academic resources. Many or most of you have not had to work too hard throughout high school. You probably had a lot of success without putting too much effort in. Well, guess what? Purdue's hard. A Purdue degree means something, though. So that's good news. You want it to be difficult because when you get out, people are going to want you to want to give you jobs. Now, Purdue does want you to be successful, and it's not just about, oh, it's hard. We're going to provide to you a whole lot of resources. Some of these resources we're going to be specifically talking about in this presentation. Others we're going to just touch on briefly, but know that when you get here, it's going to be up to you. You just need to take advantage of those resources. We'll make it very clear what they are. You also note here that some classes will end August 4th, some August 11th. You'll just check that on your schedule as far as what completion date goes for specific classes. So quickly going through a couple of the academic resources that we'll have this summer. There's a Cosine, which is chemistry, biology, math tutoring, be online. We have a math resource room going to be open. There's an online writing lab, the Purdue Presentation Center, Academic Success Center, supplemental instruction. All that being said is that you will have a lot of potential support. Again, just got to go take advantage of it. There's summer support and well-being resources as well. We've got the Rec Well. I'll just let you read those yourselves, but the Dean of Students, financial aid, et cetera. There's a lot of opportunities for resources. And speaking of those resources, I'm going to hand it off to Sandra here so she can talk specifically about one of those resources.
Yeah, thank you. We're so excited for your students to be on campus. It's a really exciting time for you and your families. And one of the things we want to make sure students are aware of is about the Disability Resource Center. So our job on campus is to make sure Purdue is accessible for students who have disabilities. So If you had a 504 or an IEP in high school, more than likely a lot of those accommodations will apply at Purdue. So the most common accommodations are testing accommodations such as extended time on exams or a distraction reduced exam environment. For those that need additional supports like Braille or their test read aloud or those kinds of things, we help with that. We help not just with academics, but we also provide housing, dining, parking, all areas of life. We want to make sure that the Purdue Boilermaker experience is accessible. So we encourage participants to please register as soon as possible. It is a process and we go in the order of first received. And so check out our website if you want to use the QR code or just Google DRC at Purdue. You can find lots of information about how to get connected with our office, and we'll get you scheduled with an access consultant and make sure that you have an accessible experience at Purdue. Thanks.
Thank you, Sandra. Going to go ahead and hand it off to, I believe Jared's going to be doing the next segment.
Yes. So on this section, we're going to be talking about move-in, what that looks like, how to receive your key, what are some things you need to do prior to move-in, and talk about locations of where move-in was going to happen. And also we're going to talk about parking. And so I will, and myself and Stephen Burton are going to go over this section together, and we'll go back and forth and talk about each slide.
Thank you, Jared. So the most important thing that you need to do before you arrive on campus is download your mobile credentials to your phone. There's an app for both Android and Apple phones that you can download, and it will allow you to get into your room, into dining, and do other activities on campus. So it's very important that you get your mobile credentials downloaded to your phone. The first step in that process is getting a photo approved by the card office. I will drop the link to the card office in the chat so that you can complete that process before you arrive on campus. Once you have your photo approved, you're welcome to download mobile credentials, and then you will be all set and ready to go once you get to campus. Please note that if you do not have your photo approved before you arrive on campus on Saturday, you won't be able to eat in the dining court using your meal plan. We will ask that you pay for your meals up front until you're able to get your photo ID downloaded and approved on Monday. So please keep that in mind as you prepare to come to campus. Jared?
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about kind of move-in location and times of where we are going to kind of have move-in, where they're going to be located, and kind of the dates, just to remind individuals. So most individuals will be arriving on July 6th, except for the engineering academic boot camp individuals will be arriving July 1. You should have got an email, I think around the 20th about, hey, this is when your move-in date is, and go on the housing portal to look for your check-in time for the people who are arriving on the 6th. And so you should be getting that email. If you didn't, go look for the email or go to the housing portal to see what time your check-in time is. All arrivals will check in at their designated residence hall that they were assigned to. So that could be Earhart, Harrison, Honors, Meredith South, or Shreve. So be on the lookout on where you were placed there, so you can look at your housing assignment on your housing portal. Next. Yep. So let's talk about like the step-by-step guide on how to move in and making sure everything is good to go. So the first thing, I wanted to reiterate what Stephen Burton has said. And so prior to move-in day, so this is way like starting right now. The one thing that you'll need to do, ensure that you have your Purdue ID. So you really want to make sure that that link, you upload your photo, get that approved, and get your Purdue ID ready to go. It will give you access to our buildings. It will give you your meal plan. And so we will really want to make sure you get access to the building and get your meal plan ready to go for your first day here. All right. And so Now let's move on to the day of move-in. And so please do not check in prior to your arrival. So if you go to the housing portal, you might see that it says check in or move in. Do not click that thing. Don't click that button and fill out those forms because that will get you into our system saying that you have checked in, which, well, if you check in early, it's $35 a day, and we don't want to be billed for something that you're not here for. And so just be mindful of that. So day of move-in, right? You get up and you're driving to campus. You're getting close to campus. I recommend you going to the housing portal on your phone or device that you have, or when you get close. We will have a QR code at the front desk area or the tent area, depending on where your location is, where you can scan the QR code if you forget to do so. It will slow us down in the move-in process as we have a lot of people moving in. So we really want you to fill this out the day of your move-in. So you will go to the housing portal, and on the main page on the side where all the like options you have, a new option should be there. It should say move in or check-in box. And so it should be move in. You click on that. It will then take you out to certain sections that you have to fill out, like enter personal information and enter your emergency contact, do a check-in. So you'll see a lot of different fields that you'll have to fill in because we want to make sure we have that information. So when you move in, we know who your emergency contact is. We know how to get a hold of you if we need to get a hold of you. And so you'll fill out the sections of personal information, emergency contact, and confirm that it says, would you like to check in? You select yes, right? Or check in. If you'll see on number 7 on that right-hand side of that photo, you'll see on top there, it says check-in successful. And you'll see on top, it's green. We will be looking for that green successful, check-in successful. We will not be able to give you your key because you're not checked into our system. You won't have access to our building unless you're checked in successful, okay? So you will be provided with a check-in successful on top of your screen showing that you've done that. And then what you'll need to do is when you pull up or when you go to the front desk, they're going to ask you, did you check in? What you'll need to do is show your screen that says check-in successful, that green up on top there. They're like, great, you checked in. And then what you will do is they'll ask you for your Purdue ID, which you will have to upload beforehand, right? And so you'll show your Purdue ID on your phone, showing that who you are. So we want to make sure we give the key to the right person. And then you will be handed your key, and then you can begin moving in. So what are some move-in locations and times? What does that look like? So on July 6th, if you were given a move-in time for July 6th, they begin at 9 o'clock. They're 30-minute increments to unload. So it'll give you 30 minutes to unload, but then you have to move your vehicle to the designated parking lot areas that you can park for you to come back to unpack. So we want you to unload your car, get into the room, unpack your unload your belongings from your car. Once it's completely empty, you move the car because we have a lot of people coming in behind you. We need to make sure the flow of traffic is still going. So do not unpack and set up the room. Come back after you're done. So one question in the chat, which I'll answer as I saw it, is one was like, what if I don't like my move-in time, or what if I need to change it? It's really important that you stay with your move-in time, but if you absolutely need to change it, you can email the front desk of where you are wanting or where you are living. So if I was a resident going into Harrison Hall and I have a move-in time that I would like to change, you can email them and ask for a change. We'll see if we can accommodate it, because we want to make sure that we can because we have a certain amount of time slots, because we only have a certain amount of parking spaces, so we can rotate people through and making sure it's a smooth process for everybody. So just email if you want to change your time and what time you want to change it to. Say, this is who I am. This is my move-in slot. I was wondering if I could change it to this move-in time, or and list a couple move-in times that might work for you, and we'll see what we can do to accommodate. So where do you need to check in? So in Earhart, Harrison, Honors, Merritt South, and Shreve, they're all going to be in the main lobby locations. In Harrison, there will be a tent outside. It says main lobby, but it will be a tent outside, because when the directions we'll give you will take you to a tent outside in the back docks area, the back of where we do all the move-in. So you'll see a tent set up where we have keys for individuals who are moving into Harrison Hall. and I'll pass it over to Stephen Burton. We'll talk about parking for move-in. Stephen?
Yes. So the map here, and we will have some copies for you at the front desk. The areas highlighted in yellow are areas where you can go and park your vehicle once you are done with the unloading process. So one of those areas, which will be over by McCutcheon Residence Hall off of McCutcheon Drive, is the McCutcheon parking garage. You can park your vehicles there and then walk back to one of your halls that you are moving into. If you're coming to campus and you have a trailer or a large vehicle that can't fit in the parking garage up by Stadium Avenue and by the co-rec, you're welcome to park up there in the parking spots labeled A, B, and C, and park there and not park there and come back to your residence halls. But you should be aware that the spots labeled as A are still enforced on the weekend, so please avoid parking there because they are enforced and you may be ticketed for parking in those locations. If you're moving into the Honors Residence Hall off of University Street, you are welcome to park in the University Street garage. That garage will be relaxed on Saturday all day, and you can park there and come and go as you please. Yes, and that is parking for move-in. Jared?
I would actually
believe,
pass it.
unless you have anything else to add, Jared?
Nope.
Okay. We're going to move on over to Heather St. Meyer. Heather.
Good afternoon, or evening, I guess. It's so light out, it seems afternoon still to me. My name is Heather St. Meyer with Dining. First, I want to point out our website, dining.purdue.edu. There's an extensive page about meal plans, so you can see everything for the fall. But I'm going to go over what you can expect when you move in pretty soon. So all of the hours are on our website and our app. I'll talk about our app in a little bit. But the meal plan you have for Early Start is 13 meals per week, and those are called swipes. So you will use your mobile ID to get into the dining court, and that is how you will dine. Our swipe week is Monday through Sunday. So you'll receive your swipes on a Monday, and then they will expire Sunday night. So you don't use all 13 swipes by Sunday night. They will not roll over to Monday. They will expire. So make sure you keep an eye on that. That will be able to be seen on your phone through that e-accounts. You can see how many swipes you've used, and you can track your dining dollars because you will also receive $25 dining dollars per week. That actually will be deposited in a lump sum at the beginning of your meal plan. So you will have those to spend in the retail locations. Or if you happen to use all your swipes up maybe by Friday and you still want to go to the dining court, you can use your dining dollars there as well. There's a discount for using dining dollars in the dining court. But you might also want to look at the apps for Purdue Food Company or their website so you can see what locations are open for retail dining if you wanted to use those options with your dining dollars. So your meal plan will start with breakfast on July 6th. If you move in later that day, that's fine. Your meal plan will turn on once you check in, but I can't reiterate enough what Stephen and Jared and David said is to get your mobile ID going or you will not be able to dine in the dining court. So make sure you have that going. If for some reason you have a device that is not compatible with mobile ID and you're getting a physical ID, if you could send us an email at mealplans@purdue.edu, let us know so we can be sure you can still dine on the weekend if you're not getting your ID until Monday. You can see when the summer meal plans will end with dinner on August 10th. And then if you're staying for BGR, then your meal plan will start on the 11th. So the BGR meal plan basically provides breakfast, lunch, and dinner every time. You'll get to eat with your groups during that time, but that's a little adjustment from your meal plan. And then the 16th is the start of the fall meal plan. So whatever meal plan you've selected, if it's the 7-track, 10-track, 14-track, unlimited, or a block meal plan, those will start on the 16th. And that's when you'll receive your dining dollars for the fall semester. Your dining dollars from the summer won't roll over. So if you don't use all those up by the end of your meal plan on the 10th, those will not stay. Those will go away. So make sure you keep an eye on that too in your e-accounts. If you aren't any BGR, but you're staying here on campus, or your meal plan will start on the 16th. You will be responsible for your own meals between August 11th and August 15th. If you don't have a fall meal plan, but you are attending BGR, maybe you're a commuter, you will have your BGR meals through that Saturday on the 17th. So that's something to keep in mind. We will have some auxiliary locations that were open on August 10th. So that will be a new place to try out for your swipes if you'd like to. If you want to go ahead to the next slide, I'll talk a little bit more about that, David. So the swipe locations where you can use those meal swipes that work Monday through Sunday are the dining courts. We will have Earhart and Ford will be open starting, and then we'll continually open dining courts as we get closer to the fall. We also have Lawson on the Go, which will be open Monday through Friday. So that's an option for lunch. Currently, they're open 9 to 2. You can use a swipe there. Also, dining dollars, and they take credit and debit cards as well. And then, as I mentioned, on August 10th, we'll have some of those quick bite locations open, so you can use your swipes at One Bowl Pizza and Sushi Boss. And then again, as I mentioned before, your dining dollars can be used at the dining courts and the retail locations. So currently Chick-fil-A is not open, but you might want to check and see when they're going to open. That's an option for your dining dollars. And then all those restaurants in the basement of the Purdue Memorial Union, if those are open, and there's lots of locations scattered around the residential side, you'll just have to keep an eye on their locations, and you can see those on our app as well. And then if you don't get your mobile ID going, you will need a credit or debit card to eat in a dining court. They're cashless facilities, or you'll just have to keep in mind that you want to go into the retail locations or local restaurants. Go ahead to the next slide, David. I mentioned our app. You want to make sure you get this before you get to campus. It's a super awesome tool. Not only can you see our locations and our hours, but you can see all of the menus. You can go ahead and change the slide again. So if you have any kind of allergies or dietary restrictions, the app is an awesome tool to use while you're here. We highly recommend getting that. Most of our students have good luck using that app to navigate any of their special needs. We also have a registered dietitian on staff. Her name's Molly. Her email and phone number are there on the slide, and she'd be happy to help you navigate any kind of restrictions that you have in your diet. And we have an interactive process with the Disability Resource Center. So if it turns out you can't quite navigate your dining on your own, you are able to get that assistance through the dietitian and the DRC. You can be sure to set up a meeting with Molly if you have any concerns. You can go ahead and change slide. Just another part of our app, everything is labeled. We have the top 9 allergens and gluten and coconut labeled, and they have icons. So you can actually use that app to filter those out or to call attention to those. And we have a full ingredient list for all the items too. So if there's something that is not notified by an icon, you can see those in the menus as well. You can look for the app. It's called Purdue Mobile Menus. So if you look in the App Store, you should be able to find that and look for that colorful burger emblem to look for that app. And we also have all the menus online as well. So if you go to dining.purdue.edu and search for menus online, you can see them there if you don't have the app yet. All right, next slide. Here's just a couple screenshots of the app just to give you an idea of what you can see and you can look for if you need to look for any kind of ingredients to avoid. You can also mark favorites on there. So if you have a favorite item, you want to know when it's served. Maybe you had something at Earhart that you really like to stir fry or a dessert, you can mark that as a favorite and you'll be alerted every time it's served at any of the dining courts. You can go ahead and change the slide. And just a couple more items, just to keep in mind for the fall, that all of our dining courts have specialty stations. As I spoke earlier, Earhart and Ford are currently open. So Earhart has Infinite Solutions. It has top 9 free. So you can go over there and pick lots of different options. They have a variety every day. And then we have lots of build your own stations. All of the dining courts have salad bars. So there's lots of choices, so you can find something that not only you like, but that fits with your dietary needs. Go ahead and change the slide.
All right, thank you, Heather.
Right, one more thing before you switch. I see there's a question there. If you can see the prices on the app. The prices aren't on the app, but they are on our website. So if you just go to residential dining and there's a little drop down and click on guest meal prices, you can see what the prices are there. And then there is, I don't think it's listed on the website, but there's a discount if you use dining dollars versus the credit or debit. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Heather. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about what happens once you students get here and you're on your own. Here's some fun pictures we included just to kind of give you a little more excitement about what summer is going to look like. So activities on Saturday and Sunday, there's going to be a detailed schedule I share in just a few moments for what that's going to look like, but we'll also be sharing that out electronically. Just kind of give you an idea about half of our orientation is going to be about preparing you for academics, and the other half is going to be helping you transition, building your community, making some friends, and getting your sense of comfort established so that we can get into a good routine. Your peer mentor is going to lead you after the opening into Loeb Playhouse, or into the opening session, rather. They'll lead you into the opening session from Loeb Playhouse, and that's going to be from Memorial Mall. And I'm putting a map up here that you might look at and think, that's a lot of information. What am I looking at? Well, clearly the highlighted yellow area is kind of our central focal point. But don't fret, don't have to memorize this. Your peer mentor is going to be in contact with all of you to make sure you know where to meet, and then you walk into Loeb Playhouse together. We're going to start meeting with peer mentors. We have a window 2:45 to 3:10 set up to meet with your peer mentors. So incoming on-campus students, you're going to meet somewhere in the 2:45, 3:10 window. You'll work that out with your peer mentor. You work out the specifically when, the specifically where, so you can all walk in together as a group. In this note, student session only. The parents, you're going to have good news. Happy Fun Times is a separate session that we'll show you highlight the location here in a moment. So here's the first the three screens that's going to show that schedule. Again, this is opening orientation, the opening weekend schedule. You'll see that things kind of get busy pretty quickly. So I'll quickly read through. You have that move-in window, and apologies, I've got the wrong time there. It should be 9 a.m. till 2:30. And then as noted, that 2:45 to 3:10 is your peer mentor meetup. 3 o'clock, your opening orientation session. So we'll have you in that. It's a grand theater, Loeb Playhouse, pretty neat place. Having some music playing and such, and we'll do a little talking about what's going to be happening the rest of the weekend, kind of get you into it. Dinner, you're going to go with your peer mentor and the other mentees on your team to dinner. Then there will be a break from your group to do an RA floor meeting, 7 p.m. on that first night. They got to kind of establish what ground rules, which can't do, those kind of things right up at the front end. And then the fun continues, team building with peer mentors out on Croc Lawn, which may not mean anything to you at this point, but your peer mentor is going to help you get there, make sure you show up the right place. They're going to have a movie night. They're going to have a lot of activities and fun icebreakers. There's even going to be like a food truck of some sort. So good times. Here's where it gets a little more exciting as far as reading the schedule goes. So I want to pause just a moment with that. This is day 2, starting day 2. This is Sunday. So we're moving in July 6th, Saturday. This is July 7th, Sunday. So those of you that are looking at this and thinking, what am I looking at? That's okay. There are specialty programs. So you'll see these HHS, PEP, PPHS, merging leaders. These sort of programs will have separate breakouts and such. And there'll be some of you wondering, am I part of that program? You would know. If you don't know if you're a part of that program, then you're very, very likely not. So you will be deferring to these sections that are not in color. And if you're needing some help figuring out which is which, also you can check again with your peer mentor. They can kind of walk you through it. But those certain specialty sections, you will have those all broken out here on this page and know where to show up at which particular times. I'll note there's a pretty large emerging leaders group coming in. You do have a breakout 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That is a specific alternate programming. And if you're an emerging leader, you still may also have a specialty program meeting later as well. It depends on where you're from, what learning communities and such that you belong to. And then we get to the final page, Everyone's going to gather back again for a peer mentor panel starting 2:45 on that Sunday, 2:45 p.m. Everybody's getting back together in Weatherwell 200, big old room, and we're going to have a lot of your peer mentors come in, answer questions, have a panel, some technology, whatever other topics may come up, and questions. Follow that with a tour and then dinner, and you got some free time. And that concludes our presentation. I see we have plenty of time for questions. So if, Leela, you want to jump in, or Anna, and start sharing out some of those questions, we can have panelists answer, or if we have other things that come up, please share away.
There are quite a few questions that ask about refrigerators, microwaves being available and usable in the room. Can those be addressed?
Yes, Leila, I can address those questions regarding microwaves and refrigerators. Unfortunately, for Early Start and Summer Start, our partner Bedloft does not offer those services. Part of the reason being is that not everyone is moving into their fall housing assignments. So if you start to get a loft or a microfridge, which is a combination of a microwave and refrigerator, you won't be able to take those with you to your fall location, which means we have to break them down, collect them, and then reissue them. So unfortunately, no, the Bedloft services will not be available for Early Start and Summer Start.
Thank you for that. There is a question, Dave, about a couple of questions about changing either courses or changing the times of courses.
So right now we're in open registration, which means whatever classes are available, you can switch your schedule up. If you're in a specialty program, you may have some required classes that you cannot remove. But if you are not happy with a specific class or time, open registration is the opportunity to switch that out, space pending. It would be best to work with your academic advisor when approaching this. If you're trying to do changes of classes and such, good person to check in with, make sure that you're making a good change, that's something that's relevant to your path and your program.
And while we're talking about classes, can you also address where they can find their class schedule?
I have looked at this very recently, and we might have to do a quick Google on that, but I believe it was in My Purdue. There's a really nice video actually showing that I found online that I just Googled Purdue. What are my classes? Something very simple like that. And there was actually a tutorial on how to look up your classes. So if we find that, or just find that link, we can post that in the chat or come back to that if somebody has a more specific answer than I have.
I'll look for that link and post it. Some questions about when they will receive information from today. So whether it's the schedule for the parents, the schedule for the students for orientation weekend, when can they expect to receive this information?
So I believe we're asking then about the orientation weekend schedule that we just posted. So again, this will be recorded. You can refer back to the recording if you're really eager to see it. The lead peer mentors have been given a copy of the orientation weekend schedule. The peer mentors, that'll be distributed to them at some point in the next few days. So they'll have that available to share out. So they'll have it mostly for their use, but they can share that out as well. We may have a slight tweak or two. I'm not sure if that is 100% final at this point. So it may be a few days before we have a final product to share back out with everyone.
Stephen, there's a question for you about mobile ID. Their photo has been approved, but they keep having difficulties getting to the next stage, do you have some suggestions for them?
The best suggestion is probably to contact ID services. We copied the link in the chat earlier. I can repost it if needed. They will be able to help answer those questions. I guess the first question I'll ask is, were you able to get the app successfully downloaded to your mobile device? And they will be able to help you with that.
Great.
I did see a question pass through about where can you park at, and this is beyond, we're not talking about orientation move-in July 6th. We're talking about beyond. The parking's relaxed in university residence spaces over the summer. I don't have the exact date that those are back and being enforced again. Stephen may have a little better grasp on what date they will be enforced again, but throughout our program, you can park on campus. Note that you don't get free parking all year. Fall and spring, you do have to buy permits. And incoming freshmen, there's a little bit of a bar to get over to get that permit. We really don't recommend that you have a car and go home every weekend, and if you're within driving distance. Not because we don't think you don't care about your family or hometown or whatever, but the idea is to be on campus, immerse yourself in the community, build your community, find your sense of belonging. And if you're not here to enjoy activities with your group, with your newly made friends, then you're going to miss out on an opportunity to actually build that community.
Dave, can you let the audience know when is the last day of classes for this term?
The last possible day of class is August 11th. The chances of you having a class that ends on August 11th, I don't know exactly, but that's the last possible day of class. Many classes will end in 4 weeks. So August 4th will be that final possible day for those classes. I don't have an exact list, but you will have that available in your schedule of classes. You'll be able to see what your schedule is and when your classes end. You may have a professor that would usually have a class on August 11th who cancels it out. I can't tell you which professors do what. It's up to them as far as their pace goes. So I know there's a lot of folks that are trying to balance out when do I get, if I'm flying home during BGR. And by the way, we do recommend you attend BGR as well. It's another great chance to make more friends. It's not never a bad thing to add friends to the list. But if you're going to figure out what day you're going to be done and exit, there's not an easy answer to that yet until you get into classes and you find out what your professors are going to do, except for that official day, which could be as late as August 11th.
And then I'll follow up and say to the person who asked about final exams, again, the syllabi that are provided by the faculty will let you know your final exam. I have a series of housing and dining questions. And I'll start with, are there any restrictions on what cleaning products can be used to clean one's dorm room?
Yes, so there is, if you go to the university's let me see if I can find it here. If you go to the university residence guidelines and policies, it'll tell you what is and you scroll down, it'll have prohibited items and also what you can and cannot use in the residence halls in their rooms. And so there's a list there where if you look up, like I said, university residence guidelines and policies, it'll list all the prohibited items and also all of our policies as well. I actually recommend all students to read all those policies to ensure that you understand what are some policies we put in place to ensure that we have a safe and productive living learning community within our halls.
And when will they know their fall room assignment?
Housing assignments should
Yes.
come out In mid to late July, sometime around July 18th is what we're looking at getting those out.
And so another question is, what if they won't? What if they will arrive after the final move-in time? Can they move in on the 7th of July?
Yes, they're still welcome to move in on the 7th of July. They would just have to do it at the front desk of their respective hall.
Also, let me chime in there. If you're moving in late, obviously, we encourage you to try to get there July 6th so you can partake of all the events and start building your community with your peer mentors and such. But if you are, for some reason, going to miss out on a thing or something, connect with your peer mentor to make sure that they can catch up with you once you do get onto campus.
And there's a question about a rice cooker. Are rice cookers allowed in university residences?
Yeah, so I was actually looking that up. It's in the guidelines here because I saw that was a question. It says it's prohibited use in the traditional halls. So there is spaces where you can go use it in our kitchen areas, but you cannot use them in the rooms. So you cannot use rice cookers.
And is there a website or link that can be provided so that students can view possibly the layout of their dorm rooms?
If they go to the University Residences website, they should be able to search for their hall, and on their hall's website page, you should be able to find a layout of the room.
All right, so I'm scrolling through questions and
I saw a couple dining questions. If you don't mind, I'll jump in.
sure, go right ahead.
Someone asked about dining dollars. The dining dollars for your summer meal plan will not roll over. So those will expire on August 10th at the end of your summer meal plan. If you're staying for BGR, you'll receive dining dollars for that time period. So you can try out the retail locations. And then your fall allotment will be in your account on August 16th. So you'll need to use those summer ones by August 10th. They will not roll over. And then someone asked if they could be used at the bookstores. The dining dollars can be used at all of the open retail locations, not the bookstores, but there are some markets that will be open. So if you needed just a quick school supply or cleaning supplies, some snacks, things like that, your dining dollars will work at those markets.
So there's a question still about lofting beds. And so I know that you've addressed the questions that lofts are unavailable during the 5 weeks, but if they wanted to loft it partially, is that possible?
So in terms of our beds, you do have the ability to adjust the heights of the bed. I need to work on that process of what it will look like for the summer, but you can request to get your bed height adjusted for the summer if you would like. And that would be to the highest rung on the bed ends that are available in the room at the current time.
You may have addressed this. I'm moving to parking now. There was a question about parking over the summer. Is that possible?
So on the map that was shared earlier in the presentation, the areas highlighted in yellow are university residences parking spaces. Those parking spaces are reserved and are relaxed until I want to say the first day of classes in August. So you can park there, and then at that point, like Dave said, there's a process for getting a permit as a first year student, but that process is pretty lengthy, and not everyone is able to get a parking permit. And also, first year parking is not around the residence hall. It is typically out by the airport, so it's not going to be a very convenient process for you. So just keep that in mind as you make that decision on whether to bring a car or not.
And so, Dave, there's a question about a science scholar or not. They are confused about emerging leaders or a science scholar. How can they confirm if they are a science scholar?
So in general, you're already going to know. You would already know by now if you're a science scholar. There's a very specific group of people that will have been in contact with you by email from emerging leaders from the science departments. This won't be something that snuck up on you, surprised you. You would have had to either been invited in based on certain criteria, which is across the board, different things, different parameters. But obviously, science, you would be in science, and you'd be also an emerging leader, which is a specific learning community that you would have already been very aware that you're in. So if you're asking the question, you're probably not in that particular specialty community.
So there's some timing questions. When do we say goodbye to parents? And can you go over the parent schedule for Saturday again? Will they receive a copy of that schedule?
So the orientation weekend schedule, there's not a separate parents version of, sorry, I'm trying to open my schedule back up so I can directly refer to it. There's not a separate parents weekend orientation schedule. This is geared obviously toward the students. We do have, so parents, what that generally looks like is you are there, help with the move in, get everybody set up. Maybe if you're there in the morning, breakfast, lunch, whatever, get supplies, get rooms set up. And then that's around that 2 o'clock, 2:30 is when we're wrapping up move-in processes. And at 2:45 is when students are going to start in the area of Memorial Mall to meet with their peer mentors. The parent session we have scheduled to start at 2:45. So you can start gathering for parents. So that's when you do the official we go this way, you go that way thing. And then parents are going to be in walk 10:55. Again, you don't have to memorize that number. You're welcome to, and you can refer to on here, but the building's called Walk, and it's room 1055. It's a Hyler, I believe Hyler auditorium, pretty nice room. But that's where parents will break off, and then students, we have that second and third page for Sunday of what you're going to be doing. When is this schedule going to be distributed? It has been distributed to some of the lead peer mentors already. That should filter down, and so your peer mentors are going to have this available maybe as early as tonight. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I didn't give the peer mentors a whole lot of time to be able to refer to this, but again, the schedule is still going to be on this recording, available for you to refer back to.
Layla, there were some questions about laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take a moment to talk about that a little bit? So each residence halls has its own individual laundry facility that residents are available to use. This year, we are switching to a CSC mobile app. And basically how that works is that you can upload funds to this app. And then when you're ready to do laundry, you will go down to the laundry room, select a washer and or dryer, go through the process on the app, and it will start that washer for you or that dryer for you, and you are able to do your laundry. This process is different than Boiler Express. We had to do a technology upgrade, so we're no longer using Boiler Express for laundry. So please do not put funds on Boiler Express hoping to use it for laundry. You also cannot use your dining dollars for laundry as well. You will just have to upload funds to the CSC app. There will be instructions in each laundry room on how to download the app and how to upload funds to that app as well. If you do not have a mobile device that is capable of downloading that app, we will have laundry carts available that you can purchase at Frida and Hawkins Residence Hall for about $20, and they are rechargeable for you to use. The app is credit card only to upload. You cannot does not take cash. And let's see, during the summer you will have free vend, so you do not have to pay for laundry until August 5th is when we will convert back to pay for laundry. We do have high efficiency washers and dryers, so it is recommended that you use a corresponding detergent. If there's any other questions, let me know. Yes, you do need to bring your own laundry soap. You can do the powder, gel packs, or liquids in the washing machines.
And I know also there was quite a bit of questions about if I have a fall assignment that's different than my current assignment for the summer, what does that look like? So I wanted to make sure I answered because I saw quite a bit of that. So you will be getting an email about moving to your fall assignment you got to move between August 2nd through August 4th. And so you will be moving to those assignments during those dates. And so you'll get an email saying that, hey, you are going to be moving to your fall assignment. Here's your fall assignment. You can start picking up keys on this date, like August 2nd. You have until the 4th to move over there, so that we can clean the rooms for the next new individuals who come into that space. So your fall assignment, you'll be moving to that location August 2nd through the 4th.
And unfortunately, in terms of assisting with moving to your fall location from your summer location, you can check with your front desk and we will provide, we have a couple of vendors that we work closely with that will be willing to help you with that transition from one location to the other.
Dave, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I put a link in the chat because others asked about billing and payment. And so it's a link to the Bursar's office. And so a lot of the questions we have grabbed out of the chat. We intend to send information via email or post it online. So please look for an FAQ from today's webinar to be available online when we post the video itself. I know that there is another scheduled event, so I want to turn it over to Dave to wrap up. Oh, Dave, you're muted.
Apologies. Wanted to, I guess, say thank you to all of the attendees and all of the panelists as well. Special thank you to Anna, who's behind the scenes helping out as well. We're really looking forward to seeing you in 10 days. Very excited. It's the best time of the year. I know that you're all going to be nervous about it. We're trying to put these sort of pre-arrival webinars and answer all your questions as much and as quickly as possible to help you with that transition, to help make this a more comfortable transition for you. Please do reach out. You've got some faces and some names of some of the helpers. And a lot of what we do is we just ourselves. So like I was talking about earlier, I did put a link to that video for the how to find my classes, and I just Googled Purdue, how to find my classes, and clicked on the video link, and there was a link I shared in the chat as well. So you can do some self-help, but we all like to welcome you to Purdue. We're excited seeing you in 10 days. Now would be a good time to start moving on over to your Zoom links to meet with your peer mentors, some fantastic folks.